What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a short one because honestly, this is just kind of a pleasure video, if that's the right word to use, because today I will be ranking all of the Rocky movies. That is including obviously the original 6 movies, but also the 3 Creed movies as well. And, I grew up on these Rocky movies, so they hold a special place in my heart. And, I've never really had a chance to sit down and rank them, all of them. And especially now since it's pretty obvious that the Rocky era is 100% over at this point. We thought it was over after the sixth movie, but then Creed came out, and they pumped out 3 movies with Rocky in them, so yeah, let's go ahead and rank them. Let's start out with the first one listed here, Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is unique because it's actually not that great of a movie. Like when you look at the story and especially the writing too, it's just not a well built out movie. But for some reason it's entertaining. And this is the 4th installment of the Rocky movies. So at this point, Rocky has a pretty solid foundation of what to expect from Rocky movies, and obviously you have your fans built out and whatnot. So they had leeway here in this 4th movie to kind of make it goofy, and they kind of did with Apollo and his whole music video scene before pretty much dying in the ring. And then you had Rocky going to Russia, which was pretty cool. Drago too is just a goofy character. I mean, the dude is on steroids in Russia. It's just so stereotypical. Is I guess what I'm trying to get at. There's lots of stereotypes, but with all that being said, it's still an entertaining movie. Like it is entertaining. Yes, Apollo dies. Do I buy it? Not really. It's a weird way to die, and that's just out of character for Apollo to do, in my opinion. But I enjoyed it because at the end of the day, it still made me feel, it still gave me that feeling that I feel after watching Rocky movies, is that, wow, I'm pumped up. I'm gonna go out there and work out and get my life together. That's the feeling that Rocky gives you, is that it's never too late to turn things around, or I'm down but I'm not out. That sort of feeling is what these Rocky movies evoke. So with that being said, I put it in the B tier. It's solid all around. I think this was actually the first Rocky movie I ever saw, and then this kind of got me into watching the Rocky movies, and it was just a snowball effect from there. So yeah, B, Rocky 4. All right, Creed, the first Creed movie. This is a sneaky one, because initially when it first came out, oh, Rocky's in it, Rocky's back. But no, it's not a Rocky movie, it's a Creed movie. And I think a lot of people went into that movie thinking that they were going to see a lot of Rocky. And don't get me wrong, he's in that movie a significant amount of time. But at the end of the day, it is a Creed movie. And it is a movie that follows the Apollo Creed family, Adonis. And I think they did a really good job of it, of balancing, understanding that they have this, this legendary actor, legendary character in their movie, that they have to make him basically a secondary character to Adonis. And I think they did that very, very well. And I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. So, I mean, there's a reason that it spawned off 2 sequels. It was very successful. So I will put it in the A tier. The original Rocky, wow, this is really early. I did not expect us to get to the first Rocky movie this early. What is there to say about this movie? It's almost flawless. Out of all the Rocky movies, this is the one I've seen the most times, and every time I watch it, I try to look for flaws, try to see if there's like a scene or a part that just doesn't sit right with me. And there's this one that watching it recently, I was like kind of iffy on it, and obviously that was when or maybe not obviously, but that was when Adrian was at Rocky's apartment and she was trying to leave, and Rocky was not letting her leave, and he kind of forced himself on her. So yeah, not too sure how I feel about that. But besides that, I mean, it's a flawless movie. I mean, the first Rocky movie does a great job of really showing the lifestyle and situation that Rocky is in. Because I mean, just they portray it as this guy is down on his luck. He's not going anywhere. He's a criminal, and then all of a sudden he gets this opportunity, and he's supposed to be washed, but he gets this opportunity and he makes the most out of it. And and no one wanted to be on his side at first. Remember, Mikey did not want to train. Mikey didn't want anything to do with Rocky in the beginning of this movie. When Rocky was just a nobody, when he was a shark lone, just going to the gym, doing his own thing, fighting for pennies. Mikey wanted nothing to do with him. He's like, "You're trash. You're washed, man. Get out of my boxing ring." He even got rid of his gym and gave it to some newbie. So nobody was on this dude's side. Nobody cared about him. All he had was his two turtles in his rinky-dink apartment. Barely making it. Then all of a sudden he gets this big shot. He gets this opportunity to really make it big and actually be something, right? Oh, and then all of a sudden, Mikey stops by his apartment. He's like, "Hey, I want to be your trainer." And then Rocky, no. He was like, "No. Oh, you didn't have this energy. You weren't saying this a week ago when I was a nobody. And all of a sudden you want to be on my side and train me?" That was an amazing scene when Rocky essentially rejected Mikey. And for good reason, too. I mean, who wanted in that position? I mean, this dude is fake. He wanted nothing to do with you a week ago, but all of a sudden, when you have this opportunity to fight the best fighter in the world, all of a sudden he wants to train you now. It's just, it's hypocrisy, and Rocky was just for doing that, but he changed his mind. He understood that people deserve second chances and whatnot, just like he got a second chance. And obviously he went back to get Mikey, and Mikey was his trainer. So it's poetry. This whole movie's poetry. The story of triumphancy is not a word, but I'll use that. S tier. I mean, there's a reason it spawned off 5 other movies. That's a S tier movie. Is this Creed 3? Creed 3. Oh my gosh, I haven't even seen Creed 3. Have I? I have not seen Creed 3. I'm tripping. I have to put this in just B then, because I have no idea. I haven't seen it. That's crazy. I haven't seen this movie. All right, Creed 2. I have seen Creed 2. And is it better than Creed 1? It is not. Obviously, it is not. But I think they did a good job of bringing back those characters, Drago and his son. And they didn't just bring them back to be the villains. They were actual real characters. Which I think I think that's important because, usually with these modern movies, you're bringing back, when you bring back old characters, legendary characters, most of the time it's just a cash grab. But in this movie, I think they did a really good job of making them fleshed out characters and giving them motives, giving them backstory, giving them emotions, especially Drago. I mean, wow, this movie really shows, those emotions, those dynamics that a father and son have. So I'll give it a C, or I'll give it a B. It doesn't deserve C. Rocky Balboa, the 6th and final installment of the actual Rocky movies. This is a sneaky good movie, and it's really not supposed to be, because the story is just goofy. Kind of like Rocky 4, it's goofy. You have this 60-year-old, late 50s, I forget what his exact age here is here. I think it's 60s, early 60s maybe. And comes out of retirement and goes toe-to-toe with the heavyweight, or not the heavyweight, but the boxing champion. It's just not realistic. It's not possible. But again, that doesn't matter, because as long as these Rocky movies evoke a feeling of grit and hard work and being triumphant, it's all that matters. And that's what this Rocky movie does very well. It does a good job of recapturing that that feeling that the original Rocky movie gave you. So for that reason, I'll put it up here in A. I think this was a really sneaky good movie. Oh my gosh, Rocky 5. Here we go. Rocky Five. Has to be the worst Rocky movie, obviously of the both Creed and Rocky movies. Oh my! What can I mean? Tommy Gunn? What fighting in the street? I understood that they try to go like the concussion route, and yeah, he got concussed. But I think they kind of ruined this Rocky character in this Rocky Five movie, and it was just weird. It was just off. The story was weird too. I mean, you have him trying to train Tommy Gunn, kind of giving Tommy Gunn that same Rocky story, but it just doesn't work out, and all of a sudden he betrays you, just chase the money. It's just weird, and the fight at the end was also weird. It kind of this whole movie just kind of dumb waters down the whole Rocky thing. It's not as big too. It's just a weird movie. I have to put it in C. And then Rocky 2, and then as you can see, there's no movies in D, and there won't be any movies in D. I can't do that to Rocky. Rocky 2, I think Rocky 2 was a really good sequel. Almost as good as the first movie. It's as long too, and usually with these sequels, they try to do things differently. They try to come up with a different story, but the beginning end of this movie is pretty similar to the first one, whereas it's just continuing from the story, and Rocky, he has all this fame, and now the movie's it's a little bit more about him learning how to live with this fame, but at the same time, he still has to do this rematch with Apollo, that obviously the first movie Apollo won, and originally they didn't want to do a rematch. But they eventually did, and Rocky won. So I think this Rocky 2 movie is more about Rocky's life than the actual boxing, because he gets married, he has his first kid, he's learning to live with a mild amount of fame, but also being there for his family, which is a journey that we all go along with Rocky in this. Last but not least, Rocky 3. It's a tough one because it's really a good... Oh, no, that was an accident. It's a good... I can't move it back? All right. It's a good medium between Rocky 4 and Rocky 2 because it has that little bit of goofiness of Rocky 4, but it also has that seriousness that the first two Rockies had. And obviously in this movie, Mickey dies. Very sad. And I think this movie does a good job of just portraying how fame can get to your head, and that's what happened in this movie. Rocky was just consumed by fame, and the fighters he were fighting were subpar. He wasn't really being the best boxer he could be, and he got caught slacking. He got caught slacking. Mr. T came around and beat him down to he was a little man after he lost that fight. He had no confidence. And again, even though he was deep in his career, Rocky had to relearn how to get back up from a fight, and face adversity. So I think this was a good medium. I think, honestly, if they would have ended this movie here, the Rocky movies with Rocky 3, would have been a perfect ending. So no, I think I'll move it up above A. So I have, to finalize, to end my tier here, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3. I did not do that on purpose. Creed, Rocky Balboa, Rocky 4, Creed 2, Creed 3, we can just put it in C because I've never seen it. Oh, not above Rocky 5. All right, Creed 2, Rocky... Oh, yeah, above Rocky 5. Creed 2, Creed 3, Rocky 5. All right, that's my Rocky movie tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay safe.